listening to We Watch Movies.
I'm Ava.
And I'm Jenna.
And we watch movies. So this week we watched The Power of the Dog, which came out a while ago. It came out November, I think, of 2017. Oh my god. 2021. And well, we went back to watch it because Oscar noms are out, and we're trying to catch up, I guess, because there are a lot of movies that get nominated every year, and I don't think there's ever been a year where I've seen every Best Picture nominee, at least before the actual awards. But this one did. I think it got like 12 different nominations. So I was like, okay, we gotta watch this. We gotta finally see this. And also there was a lot of hype going into it with other awards like Golden Globe stuff and like BAFTA stuff and all this stuff. And so we knew we had to watch it. And I think Jenna had already watched it a while ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Had.
Yes, Jenna has seen it. She's a little bit ahead of me. I watched it yesterday. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. It is about this rancher guy and his brother. And his brother gets married, and the rancher guy is all salty about it. And his brother got married to a woman with a son, and then the son is all awkward. And then the main rancher guy, who's played by Benedict Cumberbatch, is just really, really gay and hates it. And
I'm sorry. That's a great way to say it. Like, you know, you could go with like the very critical, like, internalized, but nope, just go right out there and say
it. Yeah, well, actually, I don't know how much he hates it, but he doesn't he's not open about it. But I think he has had moments in which he enjoyed it. But I will not go too deeply into that part. But just a reminder, spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie, probably go watch it before you listen to us break down everything. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So yeah, the rancher guy, then he dies of anthrax, which apparently there was foul play, which I did not pick up on until I read an ending explained.
Wait a minute, you didn't realize what was going on?
I was a little lost for part of it.
But also dropped dead randomly one day?
No. I just well actually no, kind of. I didn't realize that it was foul play at first. I didn't understand that whole thing had been planned. That what's his name? Oh my god. Peter was like, oh, let me just cut up this diseased cow over here so that later I can then bank on my mother selling these hides, and then I can give the diseased cow remains to my abusive step uncle, and then he is going to also happen to have an open wound on his hand, and he's going to wash the diseased leather in water and get himself to have anthrax. I didn't 100% pick up on that.
Yeah, no, you see, I liked the beginning of this movie, and then in the middle it starts to drag a bit, because there is some necessary stuff in there, but some of it just went on a bit too long, and I feel like could have been trimmed down a little bit. But then once I started realizing what was going on, I got really invested in this movie, which I feel like is probably the disconnect between whether or not you like this movie or not.
Yeah, I did like it. I was just a little lost, and I feel like I got distracted at one point by my phone or some other thing at one of those key moments when it was this is what's happening. I will say it had more of a followable plot than Licorice Pizza did when I saw that one. Which I don't know. I did like the plot, especially once I figured out what happened, and I was like, oh my god, it makes so much sense now. I'm just an idiot. So that was cute. But Jenna, if you can remember this far back because you watched it like a bajillion years ago, can you tell me what were your initial reactions?
My initial reactions, well, I kind of hinted at them before, but I didn't know that much about this movie. I had seen some of the promo for it, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's really good," and there's a lot of buzz, and I was like, "Fine, I'll watch it after exams one day," and I did, and I enjoyed it. The movie itself looks really great. I liked all of the costumes and the sets and everything, and that's something that I just like to look at when I watch a movie. But I was also just really invested in the storyline. I was really intrigued as to where everything was going and figuring out why certain things were being emphasized when they were just kind of happening. Like the whole like scene with the cloth. I got it. I understood, but I was like, why? Why is he just waving it around in a weird way? but then I realized.
See, that scene, I knew what was going on, but I couldn't get past the fact that this man who notoriously doesn't clean himself pulled a rag out of his crotch and then proceeded to wipe it all over himself and sniff it.
But you see, subtext.
But you see, hygiene.
Yeah, well, he doesn't buy into that whole theory of living.
I'm sorry, but at this point, he's just smelling himself. Like, I know that it belonged to his, like, gay lover or whatever, who's dead now, probably from anthrax. But if he's smelling anything on that rag, it is his own crotch sweat.
Very true.
Enjoy watching that scene ever again.
Did you get distracted, or did you see the scene where he gets angsty or whatever about like how his brother is like has married life? So then like one night he goes out and he's like, you see, I don't really know how like ranches work, so he's doing like something with a saddle, like maybe polishing it. I don't know. But the way that it's shot and everything, it's supposed to be very like seductive, and I was like, there was intention here. I can tell.
Was it? Oh yeah, no, it was Bronco's saddle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like how you started that with, did you get distracted or?
Well, no, like I don't want to assume that you remember it, and then you're just sitting here like, what are you talking about?
I remember Benedict Cumberbatch storming into a pool of water and then blowing bubbles.
I do too.
No, but Benedict Cumberbatch was definitely the best part of this movie, I thought, in terms of like the cast, and he did get nominated for Best Actor for this movie. I thought it was pretty solid. We got a lot of actors and actresses in this that were nominated for things. So we had Kirsten Dunst for Best Supporting Actress, and then Jesse Plemons and Cody Smith-McPhee for Best Supporting Actor, with Cody Smith-McPhee as like the favorite to win right now. Yeah, that is a decision that the Academy has made. Just like, it's fine. I will say, like, everybody did a good performance, right? But I think that in terms of the coolness of the characters, anything that was interesting about them was written in. You know, it was a writing choice. It didn't feel much like there was acting choices driving these performances. I thought it felt mostly like writing stuff. I do think that
would kind of be Benedict Cumberbatch, just because I feel like he was doing a lot that he didn't necessarily have to do. But even then, a lot of like the depth of the character came from the writing, not so much his performance. It was more so just like being really extra.
Yeah. No, with like the scenes that we were bringing up too, with the saddle and like the rag and everything. Like, there's only so much that you can write for that. But like when you look at like Peter's character, he really like for the most part, he just like stood there, you know? Not that he did a bad job standing there as like an actor, but like his character didn't really do much because he was an awkward character and that's like who he was. And then he, like, the coolness of his character was that he actually went and, you know, ended his abusive uncle, step uncle or whatever, to make his mother happy again or something. Like, that he had planned all of this out and that he was a little bit, like, actually sneaky and kind of conniving and a little bit evil, but also, like, kind of an anti-hero and everything. All of that was written in as his character. Like, it wasn't his performance necessarily, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely see that, and I agree. I feel like a lot of the characters, like, they had depth, and they were performed well. Like, not saying anyone didn't do a very good job, but, like, Kirsten Dunst's performance, she was good in the role, but I feel like it wasn't necessarily enough to garner, was it supporting actress?
Supporting actress.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it was, like, enough for that. I feel like most of what made her interesting was from the script.
Yeah, I feel like kind of what we're getting at is there are a lot of actors who could have played these roles just as well. You know, it's not like I didn't sit down and watch these performances and think, oh yeah, there was nobody else who could have done that role. You know, which I feel like is kind of what I want when I see like a best actor, a best supporting actress. And I mean, I feel like Benedict Cumberbatch did a very, very good job. Is he necessarily my pick for best actor? Probably not. But I think he definitely deserved his nomination. But then again, when you get to like best supporting actor, I don't know. I liked Jesse Plemons' performance more than Cody Smith-McPhee's. But then I don't know if I would call it like a revelation or anything. Or like some sort of captivating performance, but I feel like he brought more to his character than Cody Smith-McPhee did to his. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just not remembering it correctly, but I don't know. I think I have to disagree with you there, but we're all entitled to our own opinions.
I feel like there was like a solid amount that Jesse Plemons did in terms of just how he looked at his brother. That kind of told a lot. And then Benedict Cumberbatch did the same thing back. So there was a lot of relationship between those two. But Peter's kind of relationship to Phil, he kind of just behaved he looked the same way at everybody, kind of. You know, like, and I think that was part of his character too. He didn't really have much in terms of like facial expressions. You know, like that wasn't, I don't know if, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. It's fine.
You didn't necessarily have like a wide emotional range.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if I would necessarily say that he was like best supporting actor of the year. But we don't talk about that.
Sorry, I thought we should punctuate that idea by just not talking.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Anyways, there was one thing I noticed when I was watching this movie, because this movie got nominated for Best Sound. And it's not something that I usually pay a lot of attention to, but since I had seen that this got nominated, I was like, I'm gonna listen. But the thing was, so their sound effects were really good sound effects. But I thought that they were a little bit on the loud side, like a teensy-weensy bit. And it was like, this is really nitpicky. I feel so nitpicky, like, poking at the like, Foley and everything. Because it was really good quality. Like, you listen to, like, the footprint, or not footprints don't make noise. Footsteps and stuff, and, like, there was, like, a lot of eating noises and things, and just noises of all kinds, you know? It felt very immersive, but it also felt very loud. I'm like, I know that there are places that are echoey, but still, but okay. There are sometimes that I liked it and sometimes that I didn't, though, because I didn't like being able to hear, oh my god, what's Phil's brother's name?
It'll come to me. Hold on a minute.
Is it George?
Might be, maybe.
Okay, we'll call him George until Jenna corrects me.
It's George Burbank.
Yes. Okay, thank you. But yeah, George. I was not a big fan of hearing him like chew up close and personal in my ear, because I had headphones on. But I did like in some scenes when the house was like empty and Phil was supposed to be like a foreboding presence, when they made his footsteps like kind of intimidating. But still, I don't think he needed to necessarily be stomping around super loud in every single like moment. And that wasn't just him, it was like everybody's footsteps were like extremely loud. It's like, okay, a little tiny volume down. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, this is really reaching from what I remember. I don't think I can accurately say, because sound is generally not something I focus on and know that much about. So I really can't comment on this, or really any movie, unless it's like really great or really bad. I have no memory of this, but I like operating under the assumption that I do agree with you that the movie was very loud, which those results cannot be verified at this moment, but I feel like there is technically a thematic reason for that, because I feel like this movie is supposed to be pretty harsh and not necessarily the, I guess, cleanest is the word I'm going to use. Like, I realize that word has different connotations, but it's just, I mean, it's a movie where kind of the main character is this cowboy who's not very nice, and he also doesn't bathe, among other things, and he's abusive to his family. So I think there is reason as to why the sounds might be very loud, because it is abrasive, it's harsh, but yet you are drawn into it and you can't really get out of it, because you feel like you're in this movie, but at the same time it's like kind of on the edge of not necessarily being something you enjoy, which I feel kind of emphasizes the idea in this movie of you have this really powerful force that like seemed like unstoppable, but then there's like this really small thing that comes along and all of a sudden they're gone.
First of all, I love how you said you have the main character who's a cowboy. He's not very nice and he doesn't bathe. But no, another what?
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. But another like thing that you can that abrasiveness that you were talking about really comes across, and I think definitely came across well, was in the soundtrack, because I paid attention to that too. Jenna, are you proud of me?
I am. I always am.
Oh my god, thank you. But no, because it got nominated for Best Original Score, so I was like, okay, gotta listen to that too. It got nominated for like so many things. But now I'm not putting it as my favorite, because my favorite to win this section is Encanto, okay? But it definitely had that abrasiveness. There were some moments when they used the strings almost kind of like Psycho, but like not exactly Psycho, obviously, but like they had like abrasive string like hits, I guess. Which definitely like strings were the way to go, I guess, with this soundtrack, like for the vibes. I definitely appreciated that. I don't know if it's a score that I would like listen to outside of this movie. I don't think I could ever actually sit down and listen to this score just for funsies. But it definitely got that abrasiveness across, and I feel like it since it is like the whole movie is just like tension between the characters and this one guy who's just very unpleasant. This like unpleasantness is omnipresent in, I guess, like you said, the sound design, but also the score and everything, and I really appreciated that. And yeah,
You know, I'm really glad that you handled the score in this episode because, you know, I keep seeing this score get nominated. Could not tell you anything about it. Super horrible of me. So unless like a score has like a huge impression on me while I'm watching it, I generally don't remember it. So I really have to go through and listen to all of the scores that got nominated for the Oscars. But also, I have a thing where I really dislike listening to the score of a movie if I haven't seen the movie. So this might get complicated very quickly. I forget which scores got nominated. But if Encanto
Jenna
got
has a lot
nominated,
of
then I
homework.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, Jenna's homework is really stacking up this award season.
I wrote all of it on my weekly agenda, and it took over. It's a little messy.
We're working on a piece for the newspaper where we're making our own like Oscar predictions, which also kind of means that we need to be knowledgeable at least to a degree in each of the categories, which is a lot. So that's exciting. I'm sure Jenna's really pleased that I roped her into that.
No, I am. It gives me an excuse to watch all of these movies, especially because I have like 2 weeks left of Apple TV Plus because I got it to watch Cherry, and well, I haven't used it again, so I have like 4 things I need to watch before the end of the month.
Oh my god! Wait, I need to watch those too, but I don't. I completely forgot about that. I sometimes I forget that Apple TV is a thing that exists.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, like, okay, tangent of the streaming services. I don't think it's really that strong.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Like,
I remember using it for Cherry, and it wasn't like.
Yeah. Well, okay, a couple things. One, it doesn't have that big of a catalog of original content, which I mean, I get that it's new, but also it's still pretty limited, and even smaller amount of that is stuff that I would actually be interested in watching. Like, it is literally 4 things I need to watch, and 3 of them are movies. And then also, it's not like the most user-friendly surface, and a lot of the stuff on there you still have to pay to watch anyway. Like, you're just renting it. It's not even like they have content that isn't their own original content that you can also watch with the service. So, like, no thank you. I'll pass.
I kind of feel like it's a cash grab. They were like, Disney did it now. Now we have no choice.
Yeah, when it's like, dude, you're Apple. You have so many other products.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Apple, like, you do you, fam. But yeah, no, I feel kind of bad now for putting you on the spot for score every time, though. Now you're like, oh, I don't actually pay attention.
Well, no, I do pay attention, but, like, no, like, because I can generally talk about a score unless, like, we have watched some movies where the score is essentially non-existent or it's all just licensed music. But, no, it's just, sometimes it takes me a listen or like 2 listens for me to really, like, catch everything that I want to talk about it, but I don't have the time, or I forget that the movie existed and that I could listen to the score.
Let's see, what other things did it get nominated? I'll just read off what it got nominated for really quick.
Why don't you read off what it didn't get nominated for? Might
be faster. But anyways, Best Picture, Actor, Supporting Actress, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actor, Director, Original Score, Adapted Screenplay, Cinematography, Production Design, Film Editing, and Sound. I'm not very well versed on how to judge film editing, because I kind of feel like all of them are kind of the same. I remember actually kind of liking what they did with Tick Tick Boom specifically. But otherwise I don't really take much of a notice of like the actual editing. I feel bad because somebody works very hard on that.
Yeah, I mean, same, like, I've edited things before, but I also, like, I know what constitutes bad editing, but I'm not quite sure, like, where the line is of, like, good editing. when you're watching a movie that's like fairly normal like this, like sometimes you can tell depending on like the genre or like the type of movie, but in this instance, like I'll take your word for it. The editing's good.
Yeah, there's like a lot of, I don't know if it's a lot, but like there's a good amount of, categories that I feel kind of fit into that group of categories that I'm not quite sure how to judge. Like best director. If you think about it, like, how do you know? Like, honest question, because I had to Google it earlier. When I was trying to work on our little chart that we made. And I still am not 100% sure how, as somebody who's not like a professional director, to judge whether or not somebody did like a good job at directing.
I mean, they might have some inside scoop as to what was going on like on set in like the production of the movie. And I mean, I guess if a movie is good, the director probably did a good job.
Yeah, that's kind of what Google said, and I'm like, okay, but then then it comes down to like the best picture versus best director thing, because there have been some movies that were nominated for one and not the other. And so I mean, Google told me like pacing and like whether or not a scene like drags on or is redundant or extra or something is in like a movie, if that like that all is on the director and everything, and like if the movie is well put together and everything, usually that reflects well on the director. So I mean, I think this director did a pretty snazzy job, I would say. I didn't pick up.
Campion, I think is her name.
Yeah, Jane Campion. I didn't pick up on too many things where like I was like, oh, that scene was a little long. I mean, there were definitely scenes where I was like, that was a little weird, but like I think that was definitely the point in those scenes. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think she did a good job. Generally, like, again, I'm not a director. Like, I really don't know. I write words. Here you go. Make them into something. So I'm definitely not qualified to talk about this, but generally, like when I think of the director, I just think of like someone like not the producer, but like someone else running around making sure everything is looking good. Like from a creative standpoint, like the producer is like I mean, like as a gross oversimplification, but like the producer is like the logistics and the director is like the creative choices. So I kind of just like I figured if a movie has a lot of like good creative choices and things really work well together and they flow and everything like that, and you know the movie is actually good, then the director probably did a good job.
Yeah, something like that. What else? Oh, best adapted screenplay. I feel like it might have a good like handle on. Because if we go back to how we were describing it earlier with the characters, like the majority of their depth and coolness came from writing and not the actual performances. And obviously when you're adapting like a book like this, you have to write it in a way that like the characters can like retain their depth, because obviously you're not giving like an omniscient narrator moment. Do we know who wrote the screenplay? Hang on, let me figure this out. Who did that?
Oh, cool.
Oh, Jane Campion, same person. Wow,
What
she's a girl boss. Love that for her. But yeah, so I really think that this had a successful adaptation, I would say. I do certainly like that. I think it did a very, very good job in not like, and obviously I haven't read the book, so I can't 100% say whether or not it's as good as the book, but I do think that there's a lot to be said for the fact that like everything of significance, I thought, ultimately came from the writing.
Yeah, no, I agree. this movie was really strong, and a lot of it came from the writing.
I don't know if I've seen. Well, I definitely think that this is my current pick for best adapted screenplay. I will say that I think Tony Kushner was snubbed a little bit, but that is besides the point. Because we don't need to talk about the people that I thought got snubbed, because then people are just gonna I don't know, call me biased or something. I don't know.
Where would they get that impression from?
I don't know. I don't know where that would come from. Hang on, who's currently for screenplay? Scrolling. Why is it so far down the list? Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's got Coda, which I haven't seen, Drive My Car, which I haven't seen, Dune, which I enjoyed it, but like also I was under the impression that it was the whole movie, and then it was a part 1, and I didn't know that until the movie ended, and I was like, wait, I thought there would be more. So I haven't read the original. I was just a little bit confused. So I don't know if I can really speak to the quality of that screenplay. And then they have The Lost Daughter, and then Power of the Dog. And I mean, we did The Lost Daughter on this podcast. And I think that there's a good comparison to be made between that and this movie, because in The Lost Daughter, I mean, I feel like the performances were the best part of the characters. Like, that's like where I got any connection to the characters. I felt like there was some sort of depth and like meaning that was meant to be written into the plot that I just couldn't grasp onto. And I don't know if that's just because of my position in the world as like not a mother. But so I don't think that was a very I don't think that was the most successful example of adapting a screenplay. And I feel like where that movie was not successful, this movie was very successful in just bringing to life the intricacies of the characters in a way that made people kind of understand and attach themselves to that, and see why they do what they do, and see the important stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with The Lost Daughter. I feel like where this movie, a lot of the depth and meaning and intriguingness, that's a word, of this movie came from the script. The Lost Daughter, while definitely not to the same degree I felt with this movie, a lot of what that movie gave to the audience is the performances. The script really wasn't doing that much for me, so that was a choice. And just to go back to Dune, I feel like while that movie was like a little slow and just was a part 1, so it kind of suffers from like telling only like part of the story and you have to wait for the next part. That Dune, have not read it yet. It's on my shelf. It's pretty thick, kind of old. It's science fiction, but if you remember, everybody was getting excited about the big space worm movie. Like, really excited. And it did really well. Like, it's nominated for a Best Picture. It is a movie with worms in it. I'm sorry. Okay, I can't keep doing that joke. Someone's gonna get mad at me. But I think it tells this really large, really dense, and lore-filled story, from what I can see, in a way that is intriguing to many people. Like, lots of people wanted to see this movie, even if they really don't have any connection to the sci-fi genre. And it did so in a way that was really interesting and conveyed all of this information without bogging the audience down. So it did a really delicate balancing act that paid off really well, so I feel like that's worthy of being nominated. So I feel like the real contenders are Dune and Power of the Dog. Also, I don't remember the other titles that you said.
Drive My Car, Coda, and The Lost Daughter, but I feel like we kind of pooped on The Lost Daughter a little bit.
Yeah. And I haven't seen Drive My Car or Coda. I will see Coda soon, so I can't really speak on them.
I do feel like maybe something else should be where The Lost Daughter is, but
I agree.
It's fine. I'm not mad. Like, I mean, come on, Oscars making me mad? That's never happened before. I've never gotten mad about anything in my life, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're not going to talk about your rant about Mike Feist in the Google document comments.
Okay! Jenna, you said you agreed with me.
I do agree, but it's very funny to bring it up.
I just think maybe the Academy decided that because he is such a god tier dancer that his role did not count because dancing invalidates him as an actor. But I'm sorry, like, the majority of the depth in his character and intricacies, like, a lot, like, there was a good amount that was written in by Tony Kushner and, like, conceptualized by Steven Spielberg, of course. But here's the thing, there are so many scenes that he, like, improvised or just, like, brought this entirely new level to the character, a character that has been brought to life in an extremely iconic rendition of the story. And he did all of that and nailed the singing and the dancing part. And I'm just saying, I think you all know what I'm saying, but it's fine. But I did get Jenna to confirm that I am not delusional and that I am not simply, like, being biased towards West Side Story right now. Because it is, in fact, a very impressive performance that should have been nominated.
Yeah, we all know Mike Feist is the real best supporting actor.
Literally, I'm considering putting him in my box on the chart for who I think should win.
You should. That would be hilarious.
Power move.
Ava is the real Mike Feist best supporting actor truther over here.
No, literally,
she will not be silenced.
So my Twitter has shifted recently from Spider-Man stuff to West Side Story stuff because I followed, like, everybody who had Twitter in the cast on Twitter. And when the morning of the Oscars, there were all these posts from people. I saw so many posts where they were like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited because by the end of the day, Ariana DeBose and Mike Feist will have gotten their Oscar nominations." And then after the nominations came out, everybody was like, everybody was like, "No, Mike Feist got an Oscar. Y'all are wrong." And it was just, I was just very glad to see that I was not alone.
You're gonna, like, start a movement, aren't you?
Hashtag release the Feist cut of the Oscars.
You have to watch the Oscars and just do that hashtag, and then, like, when they do best supporting actor, just go wild on Twitter.
It's just during the Oscars, everybody's just spamming hashtag release the Feist cut.
Like, no disrespect to anyone who is nominated or whoever wins. This is all in good fun. However, we make our case.
I'm just saying, maybe this movie shouldn't have had 2 nominees in one category. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the person who was just better than both of them should have taken one of their spots. I have not seen Belfast, Coda, or Being the Ricardos. But I will say, I am pretty sure that I'm not gonna be as impressed as I was when I saw West Side Story.
I'll be concerned if you are.
No, honestly, right now because I haven't seen like half of the Best Picture nominees, I have West Side Story in my little box. And by the way, when I'm referring to my little box, we're making our like Oscar stuff predictions chart, and I put 2 columns for one for each of us. That's just who we think should win. And then we're gonna collectively decide who we think will win. Because we're not gonna line up with the Academy as we've seen. So in my little box right now for Best Picture, I have West Side Story. I don't know if it's gonna change when I see what are the ones I have not seen? Nightmare Alley, King Richard, Drive My Car, Coda, or Belfast. Those are the ones that I still have to see. But I liked it more than Don't Look Up, Dune, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog.
I'm so mad Don't Look Up got nominated.
So I understand putting it for screenplay. I understand that because they did put commentary and things into it, and it was witty in some parts. If they had deleted the end credit scenes. But I definitely don't think it's a Best Picture moment.
For sure.
Not that like funny movies can't be Best Picture or anything. So like I'm not trying to discount it for just like the fact that it's not like an artsy film. But it was just a little bit too heavy-handed sometimes to be like actually like a thought-provoking actual like work of masterpiece art. Work of masterpiece art.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like split on whether or not they like this movie and whether or not they thought it was good. The longer it goes on and the more I think about it, the more I kind of sour to it. I don't hate it or anything. It wasn't my favorite when I was watching it, and it's getting farther and farther from that the longer I think about it. But yeah, it has nothing to do with like its genre or what it was saying or the fact that it was a comedy. I just don't think it was put together well enough or necessarily did any of the things it set out to do effectively enough to warrant a Best Picture nom.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested in hearing our like full thoughts on that movie, we did do an episode on that. And we're probably going to try to cover more of these mostly Best Picture nominations. Maybe some other ones, like maybe I don't know. But like probably Nightmare Alley and Coda, because I think those ones are streamable to some degree. I don't know about the other ones, because I was looking at them and they were all like $20 each to like stream. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to get like episodes out on all of them.
Yeah, I'm probably going to the library this weekend. I'm gonna have to see what they have.
Oh my gosh, yes, do that. But yeah, so we're gonna try to do some more episodes because we want to do an episode where we just go through all of the categories and basically tell you what's in our little boxes, you know? Because I don't know, I've been enjoying this Oscar season, or just this award season a little bit more than I have in the past. Like, I've been following it a little bit more closely. Not because I've been rooting for certain people. What? No way. Hashtag BAFTA supremacy. Anyway.
Real subtle, Ava.
Oh yeah, no, I was totally trying to be subtle, Jenna. I'm like the most subtle.
Yes.
I am also a very opinionated person, and when I decide that somebody is the best at something, I will continue to believe that they are the best at something, and I will be very upset when they don't get the recognition that they deserve. But also, just kind of side note, because this made me think about last year when I got really mad about Best Actor. And And also, I don't know how much, like, right I had to be mad about Best Actor, because I didn't see the actual movie that the guy who won Best Actor, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, I'm so sorry, but the one who won, I didn't see his movie, but I remember I was really rooting for Chadwick Boseman, and I think the entire world thought
for the father.
Yes, it was Anthony Hopkins. But I feel like the entire world was expecting Chadwick Boseman to win, and so they moved Best Actor to be read last. Probably because the Academy thought that he was gonna win, and they were gonna have his wife come up and give like a tearful posthumous speech and everything, and it was gonna be a big deal. And then he didn't, and it was really awkward. And Anthony Hopkins didn't even show up, probably because he was pretty certain he wasn't gonna win. And it was all really awkward. And then you know what else was like awkward? So I was watching the announcements of the nominations. And they read the Best Actor nominations in the I think it was a theater school or something that they named in the past year in Chadwick Boseman's memory. So it was like the Chadwick Boseman School of Performing Arts, and that's when they released. That's where they broadcast from to announce the Best Actors. And I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, okay, you're just trying to pretend like that whole mess didn't happen last year. Like, okay. That was funny.
Yay, I love the Academy sometimes.
It was just, I don't know if anybody else thought that was really awkward. I don't know if anybody else noticed. But I was just like, okay, this is weird. I mean, kind of the whole, like, the whole reading off was like weird, because I remember, oh my god, let me see, who presented the Oscar noms? Hang on. Because oh my gosh. Sorry, Google's taking a long time.
Yeah, I can't help you with this one.
Leslie Jordan and Tracy Ellis Ross, but Leslie Jordan, his whole like joke, like the whole shtick of the entire time, so he would go off of screen and then come back with like a different piece of costume wear. So like the first time he went off and got a feather boa, and then another time it was a top hat and all this stuff. And the whole time I was watching, I was like, okay. And also I was watching it muted because I was in school. I was like doing Shavasana in like the yoga and Pilates class.
You were in yoga?
For part of it.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
No, my teacher was like, you can watch, because she knew that I really wanted to watch them. She's like, you can watch them, just like be quiet about it. I was like, fine. So the whole class was doing Shavasana, and I was like watching the Oscar nominations get announced. Best Actor didn't happen until the meditation was over. Thankfully for them. But no, I was like, okay, we get the joke. It's fun. It was funny the first time a little bit, maybe, almost, and then it just kind of flickered out, I guess. when he came back with the, like, by the time the top hat came out, I was like, okay. But like the whole thing was kind of awkward, and I feel like part of it was because I feel like they were up at like 5 a.m. and it was also virtual. So I know, like, literally the people who got nominated didn't even stay up or didn't even wake up to watch the nominations come out. They were like waking up to see this nomination was so nice or something, because in LA it aired at 5 a.m.
See, we're just crazy because we're up at that time anyway because we have school.
Oh my gosh, no, I
love education.
No, yeah, they should definitely push school to start an hour later. That'd be nice. But Yeah, no, I like Campion. It's kind of funny how I was kind of more invested in watching. I was so invested in watching the Oscar nominations that I was doing it during my classes at school, and there were people who actually got nominated who slept through them. It's really funny to me.
So we were gonna talk about the Oscar nominations in this one, and I guess we kind of did.
Yeah, I feel like we covered that pretty well, and I feel like we also talked pretty decently about the movie that we were supposed to talk about. We did go on. I think we went off on our tangent a little bit early on, compared to some other times, but we did keep it fairly on topic, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, the movie has been out longer than we normally do these for. So at this point, you've probably heard a lot about it, but since it did win the Golden Globe pretty recently, I thought anyway it would be interesting to talk about, especially because it seems to be a pretty strong front runner for the Oscar Best Picture.
Jenna, do you think Cody Smith-McPhee is gonna win the BAFTA?
Well, I know what you hope isn't gonna happen. I don't know. I don't fully remember everyone else who was nominated for the BAFTA. I know it was him, Jesse Plemons, Mike Feist, your beloved.
Sear, and whatever his name from
for Belfast.
Yeah.
And J.K. Simmons?
No, I think it was a child.
You think it was a child? Hold on a minute. I'm looking it up.
Well, no, I saw. Hang on.
Well, no, because I'm trying to think of what child you're talking about. I can't.
I'm trying to find it. Relax.
Oh, was it the child from? Oh, come on, the child. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen that either.
Me neither.
Yeah, Woody Norman. Child.
And Troy Kotzer from Coda.
Yeah. We all know who it should be. Actually, I'm not 100% certain because I haven't seen the other three, so I can't say 100% certainty as an objective fact. But I can say with like 99% certainty that it is an objective fact. Actually, no, I'll give each of the other guys 1%. I can say with 97% certainty that Mike Feist deserves that BAFTA. And I can say with like... I can say with 100% certainty that if he wins, I will be shocked. And I will be very pleased. I will officially switch over to the BAFTA side of life, and I will follow them instead of the Oscars. The British Academy would therefore become superior to the American Academy, and yeah. That's what would happen. I think I would move to the UK. I would change my name to BAFTA.
Oh, okay. I think I have to form an intervention. I was with you until the name change. Country change? Okay. Understandable. Name change? Can't say I approve of that one, Ava.
That's where Jenna draws the line. Oh my gosh, Jenna, what would I do without you?
You're not introducing yourself as BAFTA the next time we're recording this.
No, okay. I will introduce myself as BAFTA the week after the BAFTAs, which I think is, what is it? I think it might be the week before the Oscars, I think. Anyways, whatever week it is, after the BAFTAs, if Mike Feist wins, I will announce myself as BAFTA in the episode afterwards, directly after. That's what I will do. And I will not say anything else about it unless Jenna brings it up.
Okay.
That is my pledge. I will introduce myself as BAFTA for that episode.
Okie dokie.
Anyways, as you can see, we're a very professional podcast, and we're very intellectual about all things movies, and that's why you should subscribe or follow us on whatever platform you're on so you can hear us every single week. Except this week you get to hear us twice on the same day because Ava forgot to edit and upload the podcast from last week all the way until this week. So usually you get one episode every Friday, but since you didn't get any episode last week, you'll get 2 episodes this Friday, which is so much fun. And then
we're busy. What can I say?
And then, yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps out the channel, makes us happy and feel good inside. And yeah, so you don't want to miss any of our future content because it's always super organized and well created. And yeah, I think that's everything. We'll see you next week. Jenna, anything to add?
Hold on. No, I came up with it. Oh, no, okay, I remember what it is now. So after I watched this movie, I looked it up. I was looking for the Wikipedia article just to see in like news what people were saying about it, because I was like, this is an interesting little movie. I wonder what other people thought about it. And so, you Google something. And so I Googled Power of the Dog. And then, you scroll down a little bit, and then Google gives you, like, some little boxes with other questions in them. And, like, the first question that came up was, like, is Power of the Dog an LGBTQ plus movie? And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, people, I see you.
Yes. Okay, bye!